I've always wondered how artists became legends. Is there a specific turning point where they change from very good to legend of the game? Or is it a process? The first time I listened to Kanye, I asked myself these questions. Probably because the first song I heard from him was I Love It with Lil Pump. So yeah, I think it's only natural to ask myself why Kanye was considered a legend for thousands of music fans. Instead of listening to my brain, I got deep into his music. And thank God I did. I found some of the greatest tracks I've listened in a long time. However, my questions were not only without an answer, but I was even more curious than before. After analyzing Kanye's career, I think I found a moment where he became a legend of the game. For some other icons, I think that becoming a legend is a process, but for Kanye, it is a specific moment that we will talk about in this video. Without further ado, let's dive in. Even though Kanye's career started in the late 90s, for story purposes, we will start in 2004, year in which he dropped The College Dropout. Kanye brought new sounds to the game, opposing to the gangster rap that was so popular back then. He brought new themes into his lyrics, plus string arrangements, choirs, and his signature soul sampling. I won't spend much time in this album, but I think it's amazing. Also, don't forget this is his debut album, and he already dropped bangers like All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, Never Let Me Down, or Slow Jams. Kanye tried to transmit that you should follow your own path, not caring about what society thinks is good for you, which I believe is a great message.
We don't care what people say. This is for my...
1 year later, he dropped Late Registration, which is my least favorite from the Graduation trilogy, but still, this album was also massive, peaking at #1 in many charts and having bangers like Gold Digger, Hard to Say, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, or Touch the Sky. I don't want to get too specific on album numbers or shit you already know. I just want to say that every Kanye album is a narrative album. He tells a story in each one of them. Kanye thinks of albums as pieces of art, not just a collection of tracks with a cover. Keep this in mind for the rest of the video. Kanye's continuous rise to the top is pushed further by the drop of Graduation. Damn, I really like this album. I just want to jump in ecstasy when I hear Champion, Stronger, I Wonder, or Homecoming. It's really an album that has everything. So, you're on top of the world, you have a good, unloving relationship, you have a brilliant relationship with your mom. What could possibly go wrong? Well, just about everything. Good streaks end, you know? You may break up with your girlfriend or fiancé. Being on top of the world may not be as cool as the media portrays it, and maybe a loved one passes away. So, dealing with each one of these problems separately is already enough, but Kanye had these three all at once. And I haven't mentioned the biggest one yet, but we will get there. Imagine if this happened to you. It would be overwhelming, but on top of that, add a legion of media reporters, paparazzis and fans talking, criticizing and diving their noses into your personal stuff. From all of that frustration, anger and sadness, we get an album that was supposed to make Kanye an icon, but instead, it was an album that would represent how down bad Kanye was. 808s and Heartbreak is a great album in my opinion. Even though it had great critics, many fans were disappointed because it was not a typical Kanye West album. Sales weren't as high as with Graduation, but it is an album that influenced massively on our present rap game. This is a key factor of Kanye, the ability to experiment, to try new things, doing what he feels like, and still making it good. Despite some critics on the short term, Kanye's vision remained unfazed, and it laid down the path for artists that are doing similar stuff 15 years later. Kanye creates trends. Coming back to the story. As you probably know, there's something missing. The straw that broke the camel's back. MTV Awards, Kanye, a rough personal life, and a bottle of Hennessy. Of course, you know what's coming. Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift's speech after winning Best Female Video, and he said that Beyoncé deserved that award, and Twitter, internet, and people went absolutely crazy. Backlash was insane, and Kanye became pop culture's new villain. But what if all that trouble was something good? Instead of using the negative energy from your mom's death and the breakup to cause more damage, what if it was used to create something else?
She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Taylor Swift is awesome. She deserved her moment. That guy is,
You went on your, you tweeted.
They say I was the abomination of Obama's nation. Whatever.
Kanye left the States. He traveled Japan, Italy, and finally got back to the US and moved to Hawaii. He got his head cleared up, and when you get your head cleared, you can focus. In that Hawaii mansion, one of the greatest albums ever was created. He flew out artists, producers, and comedians. He rented out 3 full studios 24 hours a day in order to accomplish his heroic mission. Of course, to create something great, you need to focus. If you can't focus by yourself, you need a set of rules to help you. Some of them were no tweeting, no hipster hats, just shut the fuck up sometimes. Total focus on this project in all studios, no acoustic guitar, no pictures. It was insane. And besides all of this,
Press, like, first of all, everybody in the studio had suits on.
rules set standards. Even though you may think that these rules are obsessive or way out of hand, they are setting a standard of behavior and performance. Kanye needed everyone at their best level, or else they wouldn't be on the album. Besides rules, all of the producers and artists living there had a routine.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something this young man does, y'all. They get up every morning and eat breakfast together, his whole crew. And they talk about yesterday and the next day, and the day of and the present. They plan on over breakfast. They sit there and they talk about what they're gonna do, what they did, and how to make the music better. Then they go exercise together. Okay, go to the YMCA, they play basketball, lift weights, focus, get the energy out, get the chi up. And then they hit the studio around 4 o'clock. First he would do some charity work.
Complex journalist Noah Callahan Beaver said, "It's never explicitly discussed, but everyone here knows that good music is the key to Kanye's redemption. With the right songs and the right album, he can overcome any and all controversy, and we are here to contribute, challenge, and inspire." By this moment, Kanye was having a great time. He was disconnected from the world, and he was also obsessed.
You know, everyone says, oh, great art comes from pain, but I think my greatest art comes from excitement and joy. It's completely different, a completely different perspective about being extremely excited about stuff that is only cool to me.
In his own words, Power took more than 5,000 human hours to be made. He needed it to be perfect. He wrote over and over again the verses, and he asked for feedback. Continuing with Noah Callahan's testimonial, he says, Kanye's process is communal. He literally goes around the room asking everyone there what power means to them. He throws out lines to see how they're received and works out his exact wording with whomever is around to help. But his output is most definitely entirely his own. One listen to that consistently unique cadence, word choice, and sense of humor reveals that rappers, producers, and entourage are all welcome to offer ideas or phrases. But the funny thing is, nearly every suggestion is met with, "That's really not a word I would ever say, but don't stop offering ideas. Thanks." Every single minute of the day was used. If he hit a creative block with one song, he would go and make progress in another. Why would you book 3 studios if you were not going to use those 3 at the same time? Right? Kanye got the best rappers out there and made them even better. Let Pusha T explain it to you.
Runaway song come together?
Oh man, the Runaway song, like all of Kanye's records that I've been around for, all sparked from conversation, and it was just, you know, conversations about relationships at the time, you know, we were having, and really want you to take the stance of the asshole. So people don't know I wrote that verse like 4 times because he kept chanting like, I need more douchebag, I need more douchebag, I need more douchebag.
He even gave the opportunity to Nicki Minaj, who was a freshman at that time. She was very surprised by him. In her own words, I don't even remember him ever working with a female rapper. So to be on an album and on a record this monstrous, I couldn't have planned it better in a perfect world. I remember a conversation I had with Kanye every time I sit down to write now. Every single time I sit down, I remember him asking, what is it that you wanna say? It's not about rhyming words, it's about what you really wanna say. As I told you, Kanye wanted everyone to work at the best level, so it is not a surprise that Rick Ross' verse in Devil in a New Dress is so good, or Pusha T's feature in Runaway, or gathering 6 rappers in So Appalled, making a beautiful Avenger-like assemble in one song, or Nicki Minaj's weird but amazing verse in Monster, or how he brought together Rihanna, Drake, Elton John, Alicia Keys, and many more to all of the lights. The instruments, the drums, the versatile feeling of the album made it a huge experience. Making an album that can be classified as one of the best of the decade, and for some people, the greatest rap album of all time, is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of obsessing over something, to believe in your vision, and not settle for good enough. It is a matter of listening, co-writing, and going over the same thing thousands of times. It's a matter of using your joy to create something beautiful and to inspire people to be just as involved as you are. In moments like this is where artists became legends, because it is not only making good music or being talented, it's mixing it up with obsession, hard work, investment, leadership, beauty, and innovation. Kanye was focused on making an art piece, not a compilation of songs. The visuals, the art concepts, the depth of the production, the iteration, the movie, and the innovative marketing with Good Fridays made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy an experience instead of just another album. This particular moment is the one that made Kanye a legend, not only because of the short-term impact, but also for his legacy and influence in generations. Today, we enjoy Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, Kid Cudi, or Tyler the Creator because of this initial influence, because he took the risk to create a trend. And don't forget, you may not create the album of the decade, but I'm sure that if you apply obsession, creativity, beauty, art, and innovation to any project you have, I'm sure it will turn out as something beautiful. This is what you can learn from Kanye. If he did it, you can too. Let me know what your projects are and how will you make them shine and grow. If you want me to make a video analyzing the whole album, like with Utopia, please leave it in the comments down below. See you next time.
Can we get much higher?